Most of our parents are here to work. Most of the dreamers are here to go to school. Most of us aren't criminals.
Not giving them access to lawyers, breaking up families, taking children away from parents, stopping them in the middle of the street and separating them from families, it's terrible. My mother and father, oh my God, they would not believe that we've come to such a state as this. It's not the America that they raised us in, and certainly not the one that they were proud of.
If you just want to say your full name, spell your full name, and then your position within the group.
Sweet. My name is John Parker Studebaker, JOHNPARKER STUDEBAKER, and I'm an organizer with the Party for Socialism and Liberation.
Awesome. So can you guys just kind of discuss what you're doing here today?
Yeah, we're out here today to support the families who were kidnapped by ICE. We're here with the rest of the citizens of PA to really show that we reject ICE in our communities. And we came all the way out here from Southeast PA today. So, you know, people are here from all over the state rejecting ICE detention, and we're saying shut down GEO. And no more private prisons, no more detention for profit, and no more kidnapping our community members and our family members off the streets.
What about this system needs to be changed, in your opinion, across the nation?
We believe that this prison system is part of the capitalist system, and it is here to make profit and exploit workers and put away anybody who they don't think they can exploit enough.
I talked to the 3 Clearfield commissioners last week, and they had toured the facility up here, and they had said that there was no signs of overcrowding, no signs of dirtiness. What is your reaction to that? Do you think they're lying? Do you think they're saying the truth?
They're in opposition to all the human rights groups who say the exact opposite, so I would say they are not telling the truth, no.
A lot of people are calling to close it down, terminate the contract that they have with ICE. Dave Glass, who is one of the commissioners, told me that even if they do terminate the contract, the federal government would still keep the facility open.
Well, we're here to fight anyone who wants to put a GEO or any ICE detention facility here in PA. We're saying shut it down. It doesn't matter if it's them or the federal government. We will be here saying shut it down.
What is your reaction to all the support? You know, you got people from Pittsburgh to Philly. What is your reaction to all that support?
It shows the movement against ICE is growing, and it is not just in Los Angeles, it is not just in Philadelphia, it is in the suburbs, it is here in Clearfield County, it is all over the country. People are organizing and fighting against ICE, and we are proud and honored to be here with them today, saying shut down the Moshannon detention facility, cancel the GEO contract, and free all of the immigrants that they have kidnapped.
And hypothetically, would you guys be open to touring the facility if you were given permission?
We would tour the facility the first chance we got, yes. We would love to tour the facility and show how inhumane it is and how wrong this system is.
Anything else?
Free the immigrants. We stand in solidarity with all the people who have been kidnapped by ICE, and defund ICE, shut down ICE, and get them out of our state and shut them down federally.
All right, sir, so I'll hold the mic.
Okay.
If you just want to say your full name, spell your full name, and then your title.
Sure. Chris Rabb, CHRISRABB, State Representative, 200th Legislative District of Pennsylvania, Northwest Philadelphia.
Awesome. So can you talk a little bit about why you drove from Philadelphia all the way up here?
I took a bus with a bunch of neighbors from Philadelphia here to stand in solidarity with all those who stand on the right side of history, who believe in justice, who want to keep families intact, and who oppose kidnapping and human trafficking. There are people who are in these so-called detention centers who've done everything right, who are asylees, who are refugees from tyrants and dictators, only to be met by one in our own country. Folks who have been targeted and harassed and tortured and potentially not just kidnapped, but disappeared to nations they may have never even known. That's why I'm here. As someone who descends from 16 enslaved great-great-grandparents, I understand what it means for families to be torn apart and the trauma over generations of that. So even though I don't descend from immigrants, I stand with immigrants, and I stand with all those people who are being targeted by for-profit corporations that benefit the billionaire class, but doesn't keep our communities safer. It doesn't keep this county safer. It doesn't keep Philly safer. This is something that's been used to divide people between urban and rural, black and white, rural and urban, and it's not necessary. There's people who are struggling, and I don't care where they live. Even though I'm from the biggest city in the Commonwealth, I have a lot in common with people from Clearfield County. Like we want the best for our kids. We want clean air. We want a good, sustainable job. These are things that we need to be focusing on, and instead, they're trying to make enemies out of neighbors. And I just can't stand by the sidelines and let that happen. I have to speak wherever I'm being asked to speak. So even if it's a 3-hour drive from Philly on a Sunday, I'm going to be here because it's the right thing to do. I believe if you truly believe in loving your neighbor, then you need to do something. And sometimes that means coming out of our comfort zones and saying things that may be difficult to say, but are no less true.
And you give a powerful speech about you're not just a Democrat, you're a neighbor. You're just like everybody else.
Yeah.
What can Josh Shapiro do to help support what you guys are calling for?
Absolutely. Well, I think it's important that every elected official on every level should acknowledge that we should not have detention centers. They were not always the case, and this was under Republican presidents too. There were no detention centers until we created an industry that profits off of misery. The folks who are in detention centers were not folks who were hard to find because they picked them up at work or at church or in a hospital or a courtroom or a soccer field. We know where these folks are. They're people who are waiting to get here and do what's necessary to be a full citizen or to get a green card. They're not here under difficult situations, but what they're doing is not illegal. This is actually illegal. That's the irony. So they're calling these folks, our brothers and sisters, our neighbors, illegals, but the thing that they're doing is kidnapping and disappearing people. That is against the rule of law. And somehow it's okay when we identify the folks who we have othered, the folks who don't look like us, the folks who don't speak our language, the folks who don't live the way we live, perhaps. That's unacceptable. And for anyone who's of faith, anyone who just believes in basic justice, this is not right, and it doesn't benefit you. And eventually, you're going to be the one who's unsafe.
A lot of people around here are calling for the commissioners here to terminate the contract that they have with the facility. When I talked to them last week, they said that all three of them toured the facility. They said there was no overcrowding, no dirtiness. What is your reaction to that?
Well, I heard the same thing about Berks County Detention Center back when I visited in 2018, and the lawns were manicured. There was a playground, but inside, it's still a jail. And it was something where they had children and women. It's still a prison. And these conditions, I can't speak on them because they won't let me in. I'm not a federal official, I'm a state official, so I don't have the authority. They could let me in if they wanted, but they won't. I even had difficulty getting into a state facility. So yes, the governor can say we shouldn't have any detention centers in our Commonwealth. He could absolutely say that. And every elected official, irrespective of where you fall on the political spectrum, because these detention centers weren't created to keep us safer. They were made to feed a beast that is for profit, that benefits the super donors of those in power, and not just Republicans. So when I say I'm coming here not as a Democrat, I'm not trying to score points for Democrats against Republicans. I'm not, because the reality is silence and complicity from either party is unacceptable. If you believe in family, you believe in family values, then why would you want your government to invest all this money to destroy families and communities, make it hard for local businesses, for farmers, all of these folks, just so we have this false sense of security that is actually making us less safe? First question, tough, read your name.
Denise Agurto.
Spell that for us.
DENISSEAURTO.
What group, organization you from?
And with Unides para Servir Norristown, I'm the executive director.
Your connection, do you know people that have been in there? Your connection to this project, this facility.
Okay, we are part of the Norristown Rapid Response, And we organized with other organizations this campaign, shut down Moshannon.
Local congressmen here, the county commissioners all tell us, we've been in there, it's not so bad. Oh, by the way, there's good jobs and it's a great economic energy source for this area. Your thoughts on that?
Okay, we already met with one of the commissioners and he said he's going to do something, even though all of the commissioners, congressmen and reps and senators said this a federal thing, nothing they can do. So we think they can do a lot, and that's not true. Obviously, if they're going to announce they're going to be inside of the facility, they're going to be prepared. But we have like people who they are coming out and telling us how the situation inside. We actually work with one of the cases that we helped, and we were very involved with her, and she mentioning how bad inside was. So we don't believe that's, even though this help the economy, but that help over the blood of the immigrants. So that is not fair for us.
Do you get any response from GEO or federal authorities when you try to talk to them?
Yeah, they're always putting everything is good, and they don't, sometimes they talk to us. Even we know today that one of our members was denied to enter to visit. One of the person is detained there. So because this person said they work for GEO and then it's a private thing and they do whatever they want. So we have everything what they told this person, that actually that family is here in the protest today because that was so absolutely awful to deny the entrance because GEO said, so that was not acceptable for our community.
Worried, concerned, frustrated, mad, talk of maybe expanding this facility, or GEO is building more facilities like this one?
Yeah, so our fight comes like years ago when the GEO was expanding around the Pennsylvania. So we show up in every single place when they're trying to. So now we see how bad affecting this our community. So I think now it's good to have allies in our side. They can do more than we did in the past as immigrants. So we know GEO was preparing for this.
In terms of, I know you guys are wanting the Clearfield commissioners to cancel the contract between the facility. Are there any other changes you'd like to see within different ICE facilities around, maybe not just Moshannon, but nationwide?
So we have this information from inside. Even people who sign out to be deported, or even people who say they have strong cases to stay, they don't take a right decision. So we want them to see, if we have people who was detained, they have cases like asylum cases, they have work permits and all stuff, and they deny their cases. They are married with a citizen or permanent residents, and they deny it. So we want them to, take a decision to support, because we know this is about money, but we want to commissioner know this, because it's true. We have records of people be detained that they already say, I already signed to be sent into my country, but they still keeping there for months. Also, people with work permits. So we want the commissioners to do something in favor, like start with welcoming resolution or welcoming acts. Even the municipality, the campaign that we have over Montgomery County, so they can, duplicate these efforts, because they are demo. If the Democrats said they're going to do something, do it. So that was we want to.
And when I spoke with one of the commissioners, Dave Glass, he said even if they do cancel the contract, the federal government would just take over it, and then it would stay open.
Yeah, but this is make at least for our community be confident that we can work together and other staff. It's not just about, keep the contract because they're going to take over. So cancel the contract and we can work something else, focus on something positive to support the immigrant communities. So, yeah.
I want to say your full name,
Okay.
spell your full name, and then your group that you're affiliated with.
Okay, great. My name is Megan Guidi, MEGANGUIDI, and my group is Pittsburgh Women for Democracy.
So can you kind of discuss what you guys are doing here today?
Yeah, well, today has one big purpose, which is we want to call on the Clearfield County Commissioners to close down the Moshannon Valley Processing Center by ending their contract with ICE.
What are some of the main problems that you guys have discussed about, what's going on the facility?
Yeah. So the Moshannon Valley Processing Center holds over 1,800 men, women, and non-binary folks. It has a long history of different kinds of complaints. There have been about 4 ACLU lawsuits filed against the facility and some other ACLU complaints. The facility has the highest rate of solitary confinement in the country, of all the ICE detention centers in the country. As well as the fact that immigration detention is just cruel, inhumane, and really unnecessary.
I know you guys want to end the contracts between commissioners and GED, whatnot.
GEO.
Are there any other alternatives that you guys would be open to, other than just ending contracts?
No, our goal is to see the Moshannon Valley Processing Center closed. And the folks that are there return to their communities to continue doing their ICE check-ins, abiding by the existing laws that we already have in this country for these kinds of things, being at home with their families and their communities. In Pittsburgh, we've had many folks just kind of ripped out of our communities, and we're here today because we want them back.
Last week I spoke with 3 Clearfield commissioners.
Yeah.
They gave me an update. They had toured the facility. They said that there was no signs of overcrowding, no dirtiness.
Yeah.
Do you think they're lying? Do you think they're telling half the truth? What is your reaction to that?
Yeah, I don't think they're lying. I'm sure they toured the facility in good faith. Like all of us, when we have company coming, we clean up our house, right? So the facility knew there was some visitors coming, and I would assume that they worked hard to make it a nice visit for the commissioners. I don't think they're lying, but their experience is at odds with many other people's lived experiences of the facility.
And when I talked to Dave Glass, who's one of the commissioners,
Yeah.
he said that even if they end the contracts, the federal government's still going to keep it running. So,
Yeah, well, we'd have to see, right? I don't know if that's the federal government's plan, but we wouldn't know that until we cross that bridge. I'm not sure that keeping the contract in place just because we think something else might happen is a good enough reason to keep it in place.
And why is this so personal to you?
Well, it's personal to me because I'm literally every day in Pittsburgh seeing wonderful members of our community taken and put, up here at the Moshannon Valley Processing Center. People that have been a part of our communities for years. They have families. They are members of their church community. They run businesses. They're beloved employees and friends. And we want them to come home. They're great, and we love having them in Pittsburgh, and we want them home.
When you look around here, you see several different groups from all over the state, from
That's right.
Pittsburgh to Philly.
Yeah.
How much does that mean to you?
Yeah, it means a lot to me. This is obviously not just a Phillipsburg issue. It's not just a Clearfield County issue. It's a Pennsylvania issue, right? This is the largest ICE detention center in the Northeast in our state. And so we're coming together as a Commonwealth to say, shut it down. We don't want this here.
Anything else you'd like to add in terms of message for the people out across the state?
I think that's it.